Good morning everyone. Today we are going to start complex number. So first we'll see the general introduction. What is a complex number? If we'll see classification of numbers, the topmost thing is complex number. Actually complex number comprises of all. Complex number can be further classified into two parts. What are the two parts? The two parts are real numbers and imaginary numbers. The real numbers and the second part is imaginary numbers. Now real numbers are further classified as the rational numbers and irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. Now these rational numbers are further classified into natural numbers, whole numbers, negative, integers, fractions, and so on. There are further many classifications, but in this chapter we have to focus on this complex numbers. Now, complex numbers are represented by z or z. Z is equals to x plus iota y. This is the representation of complex number. Now we'll see various things in this complex number. Z is used to represent the whole complex number. Now x is known as real part of complex number z. Y is known as imaginary part of complex number z. And what is this I? This I is not any number. This I is known as iota. This is used to represent under root of -1, which is imaginary. So this I we are going to use in this whole chapter is used to represent under root of -1. Now, actually the complex number x plus iy represents a point x comma y, where x is the abscissa, or we can say x coordinate, which represents the real part of the complex number. Now y is the ordinate or y coordinate. This represents the imaginary part of the y. Now this x comma y is a point in which plane? It is a plane which it represents a point in complex plane. In complex plane. And this complex plane is only known as Argand plane. Complex plane and Argand plane are same. Now, what is this Argand plane? It will come. This Argand plane, which is also known as complex plane, is also known as complex plane. Here, two axes are there. This vertical axis is the y-axis. Y-axis represents the imaginary axis. Imaginary axis. And x-axis represents the real axis. Suppose any complex number is there, x plus iota y. Actually, this complex number will be represented by the point x comma y in this Argand plane. Suppose any point is there, x comma y. So what will be the x coordinate of this point? X coordinate of this point is this distance is equals to x, and this distance is equals to y. The vertical distance is equals to the y coordinate of the point. So this is the point which represents x comma y. Now for example, if we'll take one point, that point will take, for example, if I have to represent z is equals to 4 minus 3 iota in this complex plane. So where this point will lie, this point is actually represented by 4 comma minus 3 in this plane, because the real part is 4 and the imaginary part is minus 3. So this so 4 will be 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4 unit in the x-axis, and the minus 3 units 1, 2, and 3. minus 3 units in the x-axis. Here I will have to point in the fourth quadrant is 4 comma minus 3. This point only represents the complex number 4 comma 4 plus 4 minus 3 iota.